What I usually try to do, what I perceive as my job in the illustration work, is on the one hand to make the text approachable and understandable for as large an audience as possible. So in this regard, taking, a very, very old, very religious text and trying to make it understandable or even maybe relatable for the crowds that will come into the museum, some of which have no background in Judaism. And even me as a secular Jew, I didn't know about all the rules and regulations that you have in Judaism regarding sex and sexuality. So I didn't actually perceive this text as a highly religious text, even though I'm very well aware that it is, and it is kind of the holy instructions for many practicing Jews when it comes to sexuality. But I think if I did regard it as holy or religious, I wouldn't have been able to touch it as an artist. So I actually treated it just like I would any other text. For me, these were just stories. Fantastical, absurd, fabulous, funny stories that I had the pleasure of working with. And that's actually one of the things that drew me into the project right away when I received those texts and those quotations from the Talmud. I'm a secular Jew. I don't wake up and read the Talmud every day. I'm not very familiar with what these texts actually are all about. And when I read it, I thought, how very funny, how perfect for what I like to do, because I do like to deal with, human sexuality and sensuality and humor and human error. And I felt like those Talmud quotes, they had all the things that I really like to play around with anyhow in my artistic practice. And I couldn't believe it. It was like a match made in heaven for me. So I feel like something I took away from this project is not to be afraid to tap into my own roots in my artistic expression. I grew up in Jerusalem, which is, as everybody knows, a fairly religious place. And I moved into Berlin when I was 25, I think, into a city that's much more about, freedom of expression and playfulness and exploration. And I feel like these two identities really merged into one during this project. I feel like I've avoided my Jewishness in my artistic expression for a very long time because I didn't want to monetize on that or to be known as that Jewish illustrator. And I actually feel like this project allowed me the freedom to say, yes, I'm Jewish. Yes, I'm an artist. Now let's play. And it was a really liberating experience to go closer to myself and to my history and to my personal biography. So I'm very thankful for that opportunity, actually. It's complicated.